Ugh, so I'm getting home from the gym. I'm so shiny. No highlighter, just natural. That's gross. Um, kind of had a. Seems like I have like really crappy weekends, but I did. First off, can I just say what gives the military the right to be so fucking shitty medical wise? Like, heads up, I might vent for a little bit. Like, I have anxiety. I've always been a people person until I moved here. And it's just, the people are god awful. God awful here. They're rude, they're nasty, and for the life of me, I cannot figure out why, except for it's never fucking sunny here! So, been here for a little over 2 years now, and finally talked a civilian doctor into giving me a cardiologist appointment. Just to ease my mind, because yeah, my family has had a lot of heart disease. They've pretty much all passed from some sort of heart disease. So I got lucky and was given a third option. You can either have TRICARE Prime, which is military facilities. They give you everything, blah, blah, blah. You have to use their pharmacy in their hospital, wait for freaking 5 hours, blah, blah, blah. Or you can do TRICARE Standard, which you pay a certain percentage of everything. And, I mean, that's just not going to do it because we do pay out of our pocket. Well, my husband does have a deduction every month for TRICARE, so it's not like it's free for everybody who thinks it's free. Like, yes, it is cheaper than, I guess, regular insurance premiums, but it's still paid for. So they gave us a third option over here in the Northwest, and I took it, like, when I was given the opportunity, because there's pretty much it's all one base, but there's 3 sectors here that go to one naval hospital. I never saw my primary care except for one time, and it gets tiring having to re-explain what you're being seen for every time. So, one time, I got checked for chest pain. Once. Out of, like, 2 years. And, oh, everything's normal, we're gonna send you home, blah, 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 blah. Okay. All they want to do is give you medication. They don't actually want to do the blood work or anything to figure it out. I said, hey, after 2 weeks, I don't feel this is making it worse. They would instantly drop it, give me another one. It really kind of, I guess, not knowing how military facilities can be, because now everybody's like, it's military, what do you expect? I just kind of went with it. I finally just stopped all medications cold turkey. I got to the civilian doctor. I've had her since October, and she is freaking amazing. Sorry, I have an alarm on the top of my phone. So I finally just recently talked to her to let me go to a cardiologist because I am trying to lose weight. And, you know, I don't want to be one of those people, which, I mean, when your time's up, I guess your time's up. But I really would like to be here for my son. That's the main point in me losing weight. So that I continue to be here for him. And I'm not like, you know, my mom, thank God I was 26. You know, at least I was that old. I mean, you know, he's still little. So I went into this appointment really nervous. Whereas at Navy Hospital, I was always kind of pissed off at that point with how things were being run when I would be sitting waiting for something. I finally got to see a cardiologist. Her name is so crazy that I could not even come up with like a nickname, so let's go with Miss Jane. So Miss Jane, it felt like I sat there for eternity, but I was really only waiting like 15 minutes in the room. Just time felt slow. I was so nervous. All I could think was like I could be at the gym right now and be ignoring this fact. You know, this is what I wanted, but now I'm terrified, right? So she comes in and she's going through all of my like medical history. We went through my mom's side and my dad's side, what I know from my dad's side. And she's like, wow, I can see your concern and why you're in here. And she's like, I don't see a problem. You're not on any medications anymore. You haven't had anything pop up. Like, everything looks great, because she was looking at everything from the Navy hospital from the last 2 years. She's like, you seem to be in great health. You're just overweight, but you're fixing that. And she looks at me and she says, don't stop living your life. Keep going at it like you're going at it. I felt like, I mean, I've had a lot of weight on my shoulders since my mom died, but I've always been worried since like 98 when my uncle died of a heart attack. And I was like 11. Y'all know my age now. Like, it really did feel like the world was lifted off my shoulders. Like, amazing. I mean, I felt like I could hit my life full throttle. I was going to start living. I wasn't going to let anything hold me back. I mean, it felt like, honestly, like my anxiety, like, dissolved from anything. I mean, it was crazy. And I get home that night, and my husband answers the phone, and instantly, it's like the Navy took over on him. He was being professional. He had this strict tone of voice. He was asking who was calling, what did it concern, that he would pass the message unless they needed to speak to me. And I guess when they realized that I was there, they asked to speak to me. And so he told me, like, hey, it's your doctor on the phone, which when he said your doctor, I thought it was, like, my primary care. Sorry, allergies. And it wasn't. It was my cardiologist. So, like, I looked at him because, like, she just told me everything was fine. I'm going to be fine, right? And she's like, have you ever been told that you have an abnormality with your aorta? And I was like, my aorta? No. Like, I've never been told I haven't had an abnormality. When I was a baby, they told my mother I had an innocent heart murmur, which means it corrects itself. I was like, so no. And I mean, I'm pretty sure if I did, I would have brought this up and been to a cardiologist before. And so I was really nervous at this point. I was, I didn't want to cry in front of my husband and my son, but I was like, what could this be? So I guess it's larger than it is supposed to be. She's like, Navy Hospital a year ago when they scanned you for chest pain, and she's like she's obviously reading from my chart and looking at it. She's like, they should have seen this. So it's reluctant that I happen to go through and saw this. Like, thank you, Navy Hospital, for a year's worth of stuff that could have happened to me. And not listening to me. Oh, you don't need to go to a cardiologist. You're fine. Obviously, motherfucker, something was wrong. So, I mean, she was proud of me for my weight loss because she's looking at it and, she's like, just keep doing what you're doing. We'll get an echocardiogram, which is it's just an ultrasound of your heart. And if we can't do it, then we'll do a CT scan again. So, everybody praises the military of, oh, I'm going to find me a military man. I'm going to have medical benefits. I'm going to have a house. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. No, you're going to live in Navy housing where people don't pick their dog shit up and have medical where they just don't give a shit and you have to go to the civilian sector, which I do not regret going to the civilian sector. I don't feel like a patient. I feel like an individual. I'm just really upset that this is why they did the scan, to find out what was wrong with my heart at that point in time, and it was there, and they didn't say anything. So now, like, my anxiety's back. I'm, like, forever nervous. I can't even tell you about the nightmares that I have. I did not go to the gym on Saturday and Sunday. Usually when my husband and my son are home, I'm one of those people who, when something gets messy, I instantly have to clean it up. So I'm always kind of, like, moving around. I do have 3 stairs in my home. So I do go, like, up and down, up and down, up and down, to try to, like, get some kind of, I guess, cardio in. I did notice I wanted hot fries. And now I want them again. But I think a lot of my problem in my life has been when something would happen and I would get knocked down. Like, my first marriage was rough. I not necessarily found comfort in food, but when you get something that you want and nobody's chewing you out for it and you eat it and you feel satisfied, I was doing it for the I did something right, I'm satisfied feeling, instead of, oh, I did something wrong, I fucked it up again. So I guess I did stress eat. I'm not blaming anybody for anything. I did this to my body. Like, I don't feel less motivated. I feel scared and worried, but I feel like I'm in a lose-lose situation. If I stop, my health is still going to be crap and I'm going to deteriorate. But if I keep going, what if I make something worse? What if I push something to its limits? Because let's face it, you can't live without your heart. Your aorta is your main vessel into your heart. If that goes, that's it. Like, so there is a lot of questions, and I'm not going to Google. Nope. Google is not a doctor. I will type in that, like, I have seasonal allergies, and bam, I am on my deathbed. So, I'm not doing that. I'm not looking up YouTube videos. I haven't opened up any of my old nursing books. I am taking it easy. I have cut all caffeine, which is hard living in the Seattle area, because that is the only thing I will ever miss. Because if you have not had a coffee stand coffee from the Seattle area, you have not experienced life, my friend. Okay. So there's that. So next week I'm going grocery shopping. I have done an Instagram, and I get a lot of trolls, but for some reason that's more motivation for me. But I cannot believe the way people reach out and they're like, "Oh my God, keep going. Don't let anybody discourage you. Don't let this hold you back. Find a different way to do something." They're really amazing. And if you're watching this and you're like me and you have like a Planet Fitness or a gym membership and it made you feel like you were on top of the flipping world, but then your anxiety, you're like, my big ass is not going in there. People are going to watch me. People are going to look at me. Let them look. Let them watch. Because if they're sitting there going, he or she has this problem, he or she has that problem, I guarantee you that when they're at home, they're looking in their mirror and they're finding something wrong with themselves. So, sorry. We're having a discussion because somebody in our neighborhood has a cat, I guess, and it got loose. So now the Navy has informed us if you have a cat and you let it out, you have to let it out on a leash. And I'm not being mean, but if I see a cat on a leash, y'all, I'm making that famous. I think it's hilarious. I've never seen. Anyway, got sidetracked. So 9 times out of 10, people can find 100 faults with themselves, but want to point out your faults, your 1 or 2 faults. So don't feel discouraged. Don't be nasty towards them. Don't give them the satisfaction of being nasty, because it'll just turn into one big snowball, and it'll get out of control. Just focus on yourself. And that sounds selfish. Sometimes you do. You have to focus on yourself sometimes. When you go out to eat, if you're like, oh, when we go out to eat, it's really hard. Okay, so tell them that you'd like 2 plates. Get your food, take half, and put the other half on the other plate, or put it in a box and then put it on the seat, out of sight, out of mind. Or if you can, get like the kids' meal portion. Some places don't let you order it. I don't know, but get it. I do use myplate.gov a lot, and then I cannot think of the food fitness tracker thing that I use. I will link it down below, but the only reason that I use it is because it does scan barcodes. I don't have to try 30 million times, and it'll tell you if it's verified or if somebody else put the info in, just so I can see on the wheel, like if this has a lot of carbs, because I have cut carbs. Like, okay, I do want it, but that is just basically sugar. I don't need that in my system. It's just gonna sit there. I talk to myself, and my grand always told me it's only a worry if you talk back. Like, hey Megan, how you doing? Oh, I'm doing good, girl. How you doing? That's when you have to worry. But sometimes you have to step back and think about yourself. And another trick, every time you want something sweet or some kind of junk food, no lie, take 3 gulps of water. Like, that is what I've been doing, because I'm really trying to stay hydrated. I'm trying to, like, keep my skin from getting any more wrinkles, because I cried when I got that wrinkle. But try that. Remember, you can overdo it with fruits, but try to replace them with fruits. Do, like, apples and cottage cheese, or a banana. Try to do stuff like, that. And then, so what I also, it's gonna sound really weird. I don't have it with me, but I went and I got these, Wilton candy, molds from Michael's Arts and Crafts, and, I put water in them and I make ice. So when I pop them out, I don't have ice cubes, girl. I have little cute raspberries or little cute Lego creator or Lego people for my ice cubes. I know it sounds dumb because, yeah, they do melt. But when you drop them in your water and you're like, I'm drinking Legos. If you're weird like me, I don't know. It puts a little bit of fun in it, and it makes you want to do it. You have to make it fun, because if you make it, like, strict, this is something I have to do, it's going to be like, oh, well, I have to vacuum today, but I don't really feel like vacuuming 3 floors either. You'll find a way to procrastinate, and you really just can't do that. And I'm not saying it's instantly going to be easy. you know, like me, I had one huge event that like triggered it, and I got on the bandwagon. And yeah, I had tried before, but I feel like this time I'm doing it right. I'm not giving myself that cheat day. I might have a cheat snack once a week, but I don't do a cheat day. I don't dedicate a whole day to ruining the other 6 days of what I've done. You know, and after you work out, if your body does feel tired, give yourself a day of rest, because you can overdo it, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to create medical bills. You don't want to hurt yourself. You know, you have to go at your own pace and kind of be in your own mind about it, but be aware. And if you're nervous about being in public, try like a little smaller local gym, or like if you're at Planet Fitness, you can ask them, can I meet up with a trainer? And I know that it feels weird, but you can honestly tell your trainer, hey, I have anxiety. I am terrified that people in here are going to look at me and be like, no way. But you are changing for the better. So let them watch and let them kiss your butt. You know, they'll work with you one-on-one. You know, you can go earlier in the mornings or later in the days. I go earlier in the mornings because there's a lot of older people. And, like, you know, like when there's a bunch of, like, military people there, like, I don't feel discouraged, but I feel like I'm over here and they're up here, and I don't really like that feeling. So if you're uncomfortable with it, find a schedule that works for you. I did cut, like, soda altogether. That was hard. I did go through, like, a caffeine withdrawal with that. But there's a lot of other preservatives and syrups and stuff in soda that I really didn't want in my body anymore. I've seen an improvement with my sleep because of that, like, right off the bat. But you have to keep going, and when you feel like quitting, find something new. Change up the routine, because you're getting tired of the same thing. Just change your routine up. Throw something new in there. Throw some Lego ice cubes in there. Please remember that they're Lego molds. They're not actual Legos. Do something cute. Do something fun. You know, get a gym buddy, get a partner, get on if you're a spouse, there's spouse pages for all of our neighborhoods. Find somebody who feels like you. Reach out. Be like, kind of weird, but I need a gym buddy. I don't like to make friends, but hey, here I am. I'm going to reach out. You know, try it. You have to do it. And military or not, you have to do it, because why not? If you can find 5 reasons why not to do something that you can't change, that you know for a fact you cannot change. Like, if you know for a fact you're going to have a heart attack, you know for a fact, you've seen the future, you know for a fact, then don't change. But if there is a chance that you can be a better you and enjoy life, even for like an hour longer, why not?